Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on a Wednesday night. Hope everybody is having a good week so far. Good news for Titans fans. Treylon Burks back on the practice field today. We had the opportunity to talk to him in the open locker room and got some good work in at the open portion of practice today, starting his process in returning to the Titans active roster. Not yet activated. We'll have some more time before that comes to pass, but we'll have we'll at least talk about it tonight and what it means moving forward for the Titans wide receiving core. We will also talk about what is the best case scenario for them as a wide receiving core, given some of the news about, for example, Odell Beckham Jr. being medically cleared at the end of this week. And then Ryan Tannehill, as well as Big Jeff, a couple of injury updates about two Titans star players that we will discuss tonight on Prime Time. Before we get started, I need you guys to share this show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's how you can jump in on the conversation. You can retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen if you are on Twitter with us. If you are on YouTube or Twitch like Derek R. or Zook Chanel, you can like the video. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We would be grateful for you doing so. And if you're on Facebook Live like Senior Jones or Kenyatta West, you can share not a public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And once you've done that, you've shared the show, and more people will start to join us as we get this thing up and rolling. So that, with that being said, let's go ahead and do so. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Superbook Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by TrueMav Fitness. They're proud to help you get started on your fitness journey. That's what TrueMav Fitness can offer you with all of their great classes and offerings. You can get your first class free at TrueMavFitness.com. Two Rivers Ford, the best car buying experience possible. 2023 model year Fords available right now on the lot in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. Superbook Sports, where you go to get in on all the action this season. Basketball, football, hockey, whatever you like, Superbook Sports will match your first bet up to $1,000, win or lose. And the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage, GaryAshton.com is where you go for your dream address without the stress. Get the intel edge you need to succeed at GaryAshton.com. So a lot of different things to get to today, coming out of the first day of Titans on-field work. So about 11 o'clock, maybe 11:30, we got an email. Treylon Burks officially designated to return from injured reserve. So, well, what's that mean? Just to refresh. Well, you look at the situation and you say, okay, he is officially returned, cleared to return to practice, but they don't have to take up an active roster spot with him until a 21-day period has expired. So when they activated him today, it opened up the 21-day period. Today was day 21. They have then 3 weeks basically to decide whether they want to put this guy up on the active roster. Now, he looked completely fine today. He seems like he's in good shape. He seems like he's moving well. The turf toe situation seems to have resolved itself in the last couple of weeks. It's been about 5 now that he's missed, including the bye and 4 games. So for all intents and purposes, Treylon Burks should be back relatively soon. So what, I guess, does this mean for the Titans wide receiving core? That's the question that we're going to ask you guys on this Wednesday night. Your Two Rivers Ford take. What does this mean for the Titans wide receiving core that Treylon Burks is returning soon? Let me know in the comment section on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. What percentage chance do you give Treylon Burks to play this upcoming week? We will go through those answers together. You give me your percentages, and we'll talk about it together right after I remind you that Two Rivers Ford is the place that you go for the best car buying experience humanly possible. They present the Two Rivers Ford Take each and every night. They also present you any number of ways to shop for your next vehicle. Whether you are in the market for a new vehicle, they've got 2023 model year Fords available right now. Whether you are interested in one of their pre-owned offerings, They have certified pre-owned vehicles available for you to test drive today. Two Rivers Ford always goes above and beyond as it relates to customer service because they want to make sure you enjoy the car buying experience, unlike so many other dealerships. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So, Treylon Burks, what's it mean that he is returning? What percentage chance do you give him of playing on Sunday against the Broncos? We talked to Treylon Burks and Ryan Tannehill today, specifically about Treylon Burks, and you'll hear from Tannehill more about his ankle later. But here's the young wide receiver about the process that it's taken for him to get back up and running.
Feeling excited to be back. I'm excited to have him back out there. I know we are as an offense excited to have him if he's able to go this week. A guy who was coming along nicely for us early in the season, kind of hitting his stride, finally kind of settling in, hitting his stride, being in his rookie year, and then unfortunately, went out with the injury. So, it's been good seeing him get better over the course of the last few weeks, just talking to him in the training room and seeing where he's at and how his rehab and progression has gone. And so definitely excited to start that process of getting him back on the field.
Be back in the locker room with my teammates, see the coaches, the staff. It's just a good feeling.
What's the last month, I guess, been like to kind of get to this day?
Hard work, dedication, just putting my mind to the grind and just to get back and be out here for the team.
How you feel?
I feel great.
You think you got a chance to maybe get back out there and contribute maybe Sunday against the Broncos?
That's the plan. We're just gonna see how this week goes and work hard and let God take care of the rest.
Coach Rayward had mentioned conditioning and said you work hard from that perspective. What are some of the things you did to make sure you stay in shape?
Honestly, just going out and running when I was able to run, making sure that my breathing and everything was up to par, and then just being me.
Do you have any pain? Do you feel like the injury is behind you now? It's just a matter of getting yourself back in football shape?
I would just say we'll see how this week goes and decide from there.
So it's progress nonetheless from Treylon Burks. He is practicing. Troy Anderson says if he's practicing, he's playing. Well, that's not true at all, right? Elijah Molden practiced all last week and then wasn't activated. So that's no guarantee that he ends up playing. But I will say that we did see a larger sample size of Treylon Burks today. That Treylon Burks' injury is a one that is easier for a player to come back from than dealing with a groin. So if he's practicing, it does not guarantee that he's playing by any stretch of the imagination. But it is good to see him continue to ramp up. So for this purpose, for the purposes of the Titans, what percentage chance do you give him of playing? I'd probably put it at 75% that we see him on the field. I think that there is a more likely chance than not that is going to be possible for him. But I think that for all intents and purposes, that you have to look at the situation and say, yeah, okay, it's good that he's back out on the field. They need reinforcements sooner rather than later. And as this thing continues to go along, Treylon Burks, while it doesn't fix all of their offensive problems, it at least gives them it gives you a little optimism about what they may be capable of doing. May take them a game or two to get back into stride, but we'll see if that opportunity comes his way this Sunday. But at this point, he is still on injured reserve, designated to return, but still on injured reserve. So let's talk. Let's read more of your comments here in just a second, right after I remind you that the place that you go to get your workout started, your fitness journey. You can be like Treylon Burks. You can continue to condition. You can do that at TrueMav Fitness, located in downtown Nashville. I'm looking forward to going to TrueMav tomorrow. I'm signed up for the 5:30 class. I hope to see some of you guys there. If you're not necessarily interested in group workouts, they've got personal training. If you're not interested in personal training, they have their open gym for you to use as you please. They have any number of different membership options available for you, and your first workout free when you go check out all of their information at truemavfitness.com. So what percentage chance do you give Treylon Burks of playing against the Broncos? You think Molden will be up, says Royale Wright? Well, he was he was out there for a little bit today. But I think it's too early in the week to make any kind of assessments. I feel like the situation for Molden is much more kind of wait and see day by day than it is for Burks. Turf toe is one thing. A groin can easily be re-aggravated. I don't know what he did last week was aggravating to him, but obviously that didn't feel good enough to activate him before the game. I think that the situation for Molden we'll see how it plays out, and we'll keep you guys updated. Of course, the last day of practice will be Friday, and they can always make a determination on Saturday. Dreamer says, can you make a video soon on who we could hire as offensive coordinator? Well, I can't do that right now because it's the offseason. I can't do that right now because you have an offensive coordinator. And I can't do that right now because I don't care about who you're hiring for your offensive coordinator next season on November the 9th, when your season is just starting to get interesting. So yeah, you can wait till like June for that. Looking at the Treylon Burks stuff. I mean, you all have seen the numbers at this point about the Titans and their wide receiver separation, their struggles to have wide receivers who separate. That's been something that's been brought up specifically by Next Gen Stats, and I'll read you guys the numbers on that, and I can't remember the name of the account that put it out. I hopefully will be able to find it for you so I can attribute proper credit. Sean Calderon on Twitter, at Shawn Michaels 31. This is the Titans' average receiver separation yesterday. Now it gives the numbers for 5 players: Chig, Hooper, Robert Woods, Conley, Cody Hollister. There was not enough there for Nick Westbrook-Akina to register. Chig led them 2.24 yards by average receiver separation. Hooper 2, Robert Woods under 1.92, Chris Conley 0.88, Cody Hollister 0.57. 2.24 is the most average receiver separation, average yards of receiver separation that they had. It was by Chig, the tight end. 2.24 compared to the league average of 2.92. So they are substantially behind. I know it doesn't sound like a huge gulf, but it absolutely is for them to be that far behind. Just even league average, not above average, not just the standard plane, right? That's how far below the standard plane that they are. It is among the worst, if not the worst in the league at this point. So we'll see what Treylon Burks can add to that. Their offense doesn't necessarily lend itself to scheming these guys open either. They expect them to win a lot of one-on-one. And now I think the circumstance for Treylon Burks, it does help, but it's not just a plug and play type of solution. MB says, I think people keep forgetting that he's a rookie coming off an injury in a run first offense where he doesn't get the reps like other wide receivers in other offenses. MB talking about Treylon Burks. That is reasonable. Edward Barton says, can y'all put Wes Wisely in on live, please? I don't know who that is, but so probably not. Let's see. Burks on a pitch count to slowly acclimate. Hard to believe they let him rip out of the gate. Well, I mean, if he's healthy, then what's the holdup, right? Like, he didn't look. Again, he's not off of injured reserve yet. He's only been designated to return, but he's practicing, and he looked more full go as anybody in practice today. And listen, it's just one day of work. We'll see if he's out there tomorrow. He may not be. It may have been, they let him go today. They come back tomorrow. They say, all right, we'll take it easier. And then they reevaluate on Friday, right? Like it's just so early in the week to make any kind of determination. But yeah, if he's healthy, let him go. Like, I don't think turf toe is not, it's either healed or it's not, it's not like a soft tissue injury where you're overtly concerned that if he strains his hamstring again, that it's going to cost him another couple of weeks. It's not the same deal, but I understand what you're saying. Let's see. I thought Tim Kelly was supposed to help with shit like this. He is. And yeah, right now that's not happening. So the savior of the passing offense, Tim Kelly, not able to help them enough at this point. Let's see. He's Hillbilly Ben says he's flatly playing. Well, we'll see. I think it's more likely than not, but I'll keep you guys updated with what happens tomorrow and certainly on Friday. All right, let's talk about the best case scenario for the Titans wide receiver group, and I'll ask you guys that same question. What is the best case scenario for the Titans wide receiver group this season? You're going to hear from Mike Vrabel here in just a moment, right after I remind you that the situation for or right after I remind you that the Intel Edge, the place that you go for the Intel Edge, you need to succeed. That's GaryAshton.com. That's where you go for the best information on the best properties in Middle Tennessee. The Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage goes above and beyond. They are the best in the business. That's why they're the team that your favorite teams trust. So go to GaryAshton.com, work with Gary and his fantastic team. They will put you in a position to succeed in this red-hot Nashville real estate market. So Treylon Burks getting ready to come back at some point gives you certainly some optimism. And Brandon Bryant says he told reporters today that he's playing, or that him playing is the plan this week, and Lord, I hope so. Well, yes, he did. But Brandon, here's something to keep in mind. Like Molden said the same thing last week, right? That's just something that they say. Like they're not going to tell you the whole reason they knew Ryan Tannehill wasn't going to play against the Chiefs last Wednesday. And yet they took it up to game time, right? An hour and a half before kickoff on Sunday Night Football with the Chiefs, because why would they give the whole game away? So when any of these guys are coming back from injury and we approach them and say, hey, do you think you're going to be able to go? They're going to tell us, yeah, that's the plan, but we'll see how this week goes. So just something to keep in mind. It does not guarantee. And it doesn't mean, by the way, that if he doesn't play, that he's at a setback. It just, they're just things that they are told to say. So it does not indicate any kind of timeline regarding their injury for fans and for media to feast upon, right? This is the PR coaching that they get. So for the best case scenario for the Titans wide receivers, there's a lot of different things that you need to look at here. But I think one piece of this at its core is going to be the most likely scenario. Now, you're going to hear from Mike Vrabel on Treylon Burks Monday. So this was before Treylon was officially designated to return. But I do think it's worth playing again because it's Mike talking about Treylon and the progress that he's made. And I do think that's an important part of this to include.
Window for Treylon this week? Or?
Oh, we'll see. We'll see how he's feeling. He has worked extremely hard, and to stay in shape and condition, take care of his body, lift, mentally. I think this is just the best that he's been from a standpoint of handling distraction, which is something different and sometimes new for young players. So I will say that whenever he's ready, I'm excited for him to get back out there, and we'll see where that is this week, because he's been in here, he's been on time, he's done everything that we've asked him to do, worked hard, and we'll just have to see where he's at physically.
You feel like Ron has made.
So by Mike Vrabel's standards, that's pretty glowing, right? The Mike doesn't usually. I mean, Mike will praise players, and Treylon Burks has likely done all those things, and he'll always say, "Yeah, I'm excited to see these guys get back out on the practice field when they're healthy." But I think the best case scenario for the Titans wide receiver core this season is simply that, to get healthy. I don't know what the plan for Racing McMath is. It seems like a much longer play than any of the other injuries who you might look at and say, okay, that guy should be able to return this season. Racing McMath seems like it's basically a coin flip at this point. Burks coming back should help. Bodies help. It moves Chris Conley out of the lineup. It moves Cody Hollister further down the list to where he's not one of your primary options. It's not going to take Cody Hollister off the field, and Chris Conley probably still going to be a part of this offense until Kyle Phillips gets back. Because remember, they're only at 52 players on the active roster. So between Molden and Burks, whomever gets activated first, there will be another move corresponding so that they can bring whomever is activated second back onto the roster. I think that just to continue to get this group healthy is basically their plan. They want to be justified in what this thing could look like, or the way that they think it should look, should the moves that they made come to fruition and not be derailed by health. So how much better can Robert Woods be if you're keying off Treylon Burks? Nobody for the Titans has had a touchdown besides Derrick Henry since week 6, which is insane to think about. We are now in week 10. That's almost a full month of no other player besides Derrick Henry scoring touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans. And there is a game in there which they did not score an offensive touchdown. So I mean on the offensive side of the ball, but still, like, it's just it's something's got to give at this point. I like the idea of keeping Conley here as soon as we can get him going. He's big and fast. Yeah, but he dropped it. I mean, he's already failed the first test. He's a veteran wide receiver. He's 30 years old. He got behind the defense, could have made a play. He didn't make a play. He let the ball hit off his hands. And that is something that obviously you cannot allow. I think that for all the different things that you're going to look at, people are going to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. I just don't think it's realistic. I don't think they have the money to pay him. I don't think they want to lock themselves into a multi-year deal with a guy who's coming off 2 ACL tears, and he's certainly looking for probably a 2 or 3 year deal at this point. And they could have money to pay him next year, but I think there would be better uses of their. I'm not saying that he wouldn't help if he's healthy, because he's still an elite route runner. When he's healthy, when last we saw him before the ACL tear in the Super Bowl, he was a critical part of them being able to make that run, the Rams, back then. But I don't think you should consider him a feasible option here. I don't anticipate that being in the cards moving forward. Let's talk about Tannehill and Big Jeff, because both of them are dealing with their own injury situations. And the both should be concerning, but we'll do it this way since we have to have something to talk about. Which Titans player's status are you more concerned about for this weekend? Jeffrey Simmons or Ryan Tannehill? Let me know your response on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. We will discuss those things together. Which Titans player status are you more concerned about for Sunday? Jeffrey Simmons or Ryan Tannehill? Facebook user, doesn't say your name, he or she says, let's talk about the new extra renderings of the new proposed stadium that the Titans came out with. No. They're the same. They're the same pictures. It's just a different angle. What more do you want me to say about it? Oh, look, I can see now both the outside and the inside of the stadium. Okay. There we go. We've talked about the new extra renderings. It's just, there's nothing of substance. What do you want me to say? Hey, these are bright, shiny, and new, and they're different from the ones I saw a week ago. No, we're not going to do that. It's just, there's nothing there. But if something happens with the stadium that's, more than something just eye candy to keep you distracted or to keep you interested in the stadium stuff, then we will discuss that when the time comes. So, who are you more concerned about for Sunday? We will discuss together right after I remind you the place that will remove the concerns from your sports betting experience. That's Superbook Sports. That's where you go to wager on every major sport right now. Superbook Sports, the app is clean. It's easy to use. There's a Tennessee tab for you to bet your favorite local teams. They'll even match your first bet up to $1,000, win or lose. Superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. So, what's the circumstance for Jeffrey Simmons and Ryan Tannehill? Well, Ryan Tannehill did do more at practice today than he has since he hurt his ankle. So that would have been the game that he got hurt was October 23rd. So the last time that we would have seen him as a full participant in practice would have been the 21st of October. Now he's on the field doing work. He was considered a limited participant today, but I do think that he is at least making progress. I think there's probably still a high percentage chance that Malik plays on Sunday against the Broncos, which there's obvious limitations there. Malik did enough. Malik did enough to not cost them the game. I don't think he actively helped them win it. They got off the field far too often on third down. He missed a lot of open passing opportunities. There's such a limitation there for what he's seeing. I just don't think he knows what he's looking at defensively right now. And that's okay. He's got time, but that's the kind of thing that I think causes some missed opportunities beyond wide receiver drops, because the wide receiver drops were egregious. And those would have been enough. But in the absence of those, you can't put it all on the wide receivers when he also had the opportunity to make plays and miss them. So for Tannehill, we talked to him about the ankle today. Seemed to feel pretty good about it.
The question of the year. Feeling good. Just getting better day by day. But definitely, seeing the progress now. So that's exciting.
For the pregame.
So he feels pretty good about the ankle, but day by day. And he looked pretty ginger on it today, but it's more than he's done in 2 weeks. So at least signs of progress. And then there's Jeff, who was in the locker room today with a boot on his left foot. Now, Jeff has also been dealing with an ankle sprain. Jeff played through it on Sunday and played phenomenally. But, I mean, you guys saw the video that of the conversation that Jeff and I had in the locker room after the Chiefs game. Like, the guy just looked physically spent. And I asked him about his health, and he looked at me and he goes, I just, after a long pause, he goes, I just have to get healthy. And obviously that opportunity has not presented itself right now because he continues to play. And the best thing probably for him at this point is rest. They will need him on Sunday if he is available. Basically, the entire defense was listed on the injury report today. Those guys have to be totally spent. But for Jeff, I would be more concerned with his absence than with Tannehill, because at least I know with Tannehill, without Tannehill, they can put Malik in a position to succeed. Whether Malik ultimately succeeds or fails, like, I know that they can devise a game plan for him. It's just incumbent upon him to execute. Without Jeff, life gets a lot harder because we don't know what the status for Bud Dupree will be for Sunday yet either. And obviously he again missed time in that game, did not return in that game, dealing with a hip injury. So we'll keep you updated with all of those things as it continues to develop. Be back at practice tomorrow. By the way, on the radio show tomorrow, Roger McCreary, the stud rookie corner, is going to be on the show. So you can catch that interview at 11:30. And we'll be on from 10 to 1 on 104.5 The Zone. So you can come hang out with us there. I will talk to you either on the radio show tomorrow or on primetime for one more show this week, tomorrow night. See you guys.
All right, we haven't scored a point since I came in here. I am gone, guys.
What? That's it? We got a couple more questions. No, that's it?
Peace out by the GM.